Hey, it's the Fatboy Show on RX Radio. Hoping you are doing great and that you had a great weekend. Well, I'm sure part of the reason why you're tuned into this program is because, we are quite expressive and we exchange ideas and we express opinions, however controversial they might be. Let me ask you this, Olive. Is there an opinion that you would love to say out loud, but you can't because it's unpopular?
Because it's unpopular? Yes, I would.
Such as?
Though for mine, I say it out loud, but of course I know there are spaces where it wouldn't be welcome. My opinion is that DNA should be part of the maternity package in hospitals, DNA testing.
Ooh.
Let a man move out of that hospital when he knows for sure that he is the father to that child.
I think that's very, very... I applaud you for that. Actually, that's good. And I agree with it. It's just... the issue could be that it's probably a costly process. So it's not the kind of thing that can just be offered freely. It also requires, a lab that is equipped to handle such an exercise.
And hospitals have labs.
Yeah, but how many? How many hospitals can do DNA testing?
Well, if it was a requirement, then probably government could take off some taxes on machines that are supposed to do the testing so that they can be easily imported by the hospitals. Government does these things all the time.
So I saw a video you shared on WhatsApp and asked you to send it to me. The video was titled, had the caption of "Only God can save us from women."
From women.
Only God.
But it's from a show. The show is on YouTube. It's called Paternity Court.
Yes, and I'm surprised as to how the women in these segments on that program willingly subject themselves to be the subject of a paternity test, because surely by the time they're getting tested, they would know if the person was the father or not.
No, actually, sometimes they don't know. And it's because I only shared the video. Someone put clips of men that had been told that they are not the father together. But actually, majority of the respondents, or are they respondents? People in court anyway. Majority of them are normally women that are trying to tell the guys that this is your child. And the guy is saying, that is not my child. But of course, there are also couples that come in when the guy is like, I'm not sure. I need to be sure. Yeah.
What do you think of those clips where upon being told that the child isn't theirs, when the judge tells him while he's on the stand, you just see a man crumbling?
Gosh, it is heartbreaking, Fatboy. You see, women will always talk about the pain of losing a child.
Yes.
You get? We say, oh my God, like even if the child that has died is not yours, as a mother, there is a way you feel that pain, yet the child is not yours. And I would like to equate that pain to the pain a man that was present, a man that loves the child, a man that loved being a father feels when he learns that the child he's been loving and caring for is not his.
And for all of the women who will complain that men are deadbeats, men don't care for children, men abandon children, it always seems to be the case that the men that want the children the most and who love the children are the ones who get played like that.
I know. Life is not fair. I mean, some women are out there stuck because the kids they had, the fathers are deadbeats. And then there are men out here who want to be fathers. And they cannot be fathers because you could not keep your legs closed. This is so wrong. It's embarrassing. And it affects your children. Like, how do I grow up and start to hear stories that my mom slept with 3 men and she didn't know who my real father was? Make that make sense.
Ooh, but I do wonder, if you've bonded significantly with a child up to a certain point, would it even matter if it's not genetically yours?
So now when I shared it on my WhatsApp, a friend of mine, a guy, he said, first of all, if I don't have more than 3 kids, I'm not doing a DNA test. He was like, even 2 are not enough because chances of both of them not being mine are high. But if there are 3 or more, maybe 1 would be mine. So no.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. Even if it turned out that you were not the father of the child, in almost every way that is relevant, you are. Because this child I would imagine, has a relationship with you, loves you, adores you, right? If you have been raising it, playing with it, spending time with it. So that even if it were not genetically yours, is that child going to wake up tomorrow and say, okay, get out of my life, daddy.
But you must understand that this man is going through a lot. He's going through, I think for me, that is one of the biggest heartbreaks, leave alone when a chick dumps you. So he's going through a heartbreak. He's going through regret. He's asking himself where he dropped the ball. He's asking himself all these questions. So maybe sometimes thinking about this child may be the last thing on his mind. But some men actually stay in the lives of these kids. And then in some countries, like in the United States, if you signed on the birth certificate, legally, you're the father. So you're supposed to pay child support, even when you know that this child is not yours. But legally, there is a legal document that you signed on as the father. So because of the law, you're going to take care of that child. Actually, on that paternity show, the judge usually tells the men that have been told you're not the father, but he signed the birth certificate. He's like, for the next 18 years, this is going to be your responsibility.
Okay, so that's where it sucks, where you're not the father and you are financially liable to support the child. That sucks. But I'm talking about where you see a man visibly shaken upon hearing that he's not the father. I guess if maybe the mother is attempting to alienate you from the child and you think, well, I'll just prove my paternity and have equal custody or something. And then to get there and be told it's not your kid. So there, in effect, the relationship between you and the child is also severed. Because she has every right to deprive you of any contact with this child.
Exactly. And even if you want to stay in the child's life, because sometimes they bring the actual father and the one who thinks he is the father. So if in case you want to be part of that child's life, the other man may say that I don't want that man near my child.
And that's nothing you can do.
And there is nothing you can do about that.
You know,
if you confirm that you're not the father and you still want to remain in this child's life and the mother allows you, then why not?
You know, that's part of the reason why a lot of men hesitate getting into relationships with single mothers. Because I can think of times where I've dated women who had children and who maybe had more serious intentions for me. One of the things they would do would be to try to get me to get close to their child or children. And I often hesitated because in the back of my mind, I was like, if things were to go wrong between us, she would never let me see this child again. And it has happened to me before where one mother made me get close to her kids, used to make me read them stories. They liked when I came around, and we'd play and we'd talk and chat and all that kind of stuff. So that when eventually things didn't work out between us, or I should say when she dumped me, and in all fairness, it was...
You're never the dumper. You're always the dumpy.
But it was my fault. I got dumped. But nonetheless, for a short period of time, I was hurting. Because I kind of missed those kids. I'm like, because I liked them. I'd come to like them because of the time I'd spent around them.
True.
So from that moment onwards, if ever I found myself in a situation with a mother, I've often tried to distance myself and keep my contact with her children either zero or minimal.
And I hear you, and you're right, because if you and I are not talking, then there is no reason why you should be seeing my kids, right?
Yeah.
And then that's when, in as much as single moms, we want men to embrace our kids, but that's when the whole idea of you not being their father is pronounced in capital letters. Yeah. And I also, this is what I say to women, if the relationship is young and if you don't know where the future with this man is going, try to keep your kids out of the relationship, because you're gonna love this man. Probably he's a good guy. You introduce him to your kids and then the relationship is over, and now maybe you're heartbroken, but your kids are broken.
Because it's a multiple heartbreak.
Yes.
Because not only is the man heartbroken for being dumped by you, but also now he is heartbroken by
the fact that he can't see the kids, and the kids are heartbroken because they can't see the new guy.
So it's basically a train wreck.
Actually, there is a divorce lawyer I saw on TikTok, and he was saying that after dealing with so many couples, breakups and then custody, and then people that are, trying to get together, sign prenups and whatnot, he said, don't introduce your new partner to your children until at least after 6 months of being with them, because sometimes after 6 months, you know where the relationship is going.
At the very least. But at the same time, if it gets to that point and you get close to the kids and then things break up, isn't it even more painful because you'd have invested presumably a lot of emotions into these children.
When children don't have a present father, especially if they're under the age of 8, they are ready to embrace anyone that you show them. They're yearning for a father figure.
That's the thing. And there was another mother. Oh my gosh, this. Do I only date
Tales
single
of
mothers?
Fatboy and single mothers.
Where clearly the boy lacked a father figure. And he gravitated towards me quite quickly. And because, I'm the kind of man who has rather youthful hobbies. Like I watch cartoons.
You
and
play video
games and like that. So normally, like with the little boys, we tend to get along quite easily. And so this boy gravitated towards me very quickly. And then when eventually, the mom, I guess, dumped me. Again, I'm always the one being dumped.
That's so funny.
There would be times when I'd get a phone call from her number,
and it's
and then it's the kid calling.
Oh.
So he would steal his mother's phone
to call
me to talk to me.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Cause he missed me, right? So his mother probably had already moved on, new guy or whatever she was doing.
But for him, he was.
But he's like, man, I missed this dude. We were cool.
Yeah, actually, that same divorce lawyer I referenced earlier, he said that it takes children about 2 years to move on. So you've introduced this guy to your kids and they've been in your kids' life for 6 months and then the relationship is over. It's going to take them at least 2 years for them to want to, accept someone else.
Yeah. Anyway.
And sometimes they won't.
But I'm glad you brought up this topic. Obviously, it took us into different tangents, but nonetheless, very critical and very important. So thank you very much, Olive.
You're welcome.
What a way to start the week. Keep listening to The Fatboy Show on RX Radio. We still got plenty of great music coming your way.